Hey there, it is Alexander, and I'm going to be talking about what I call the Wealth Supercharger. And it is really cool because this is something that I just came up with on my own. But I just felt inspired to do it one day. And literally, I know how I mentioned that whenever I wake up, the first thing that I do in the morning is, I write my one check for $80,000, $81,000, $2,000, depending on what day I am on. If I'm on day 15, I write $15,000. If I'm day 60, $60,000, however much. And that was cool. And I noticed that, that was presenting like results in my life. And I was like, oh, geez, that's really cool. That's really great. But I also had a goal for myself. I was like, okay, I want to get to the point where I'm making, let's say, $10,000 a month. And I was like, I would love to really have some type of a focus or some type of a process that I can do where, it really helps me focus on, even though I'm opening up with the abundance game, really helps me focus on like this specific income level per month, whether it's 2,000, 5,000, 10,000, 20,000, 100, that doesn't matter how much it is. I was like, what's a process that, is out there to help me get a specific income goal? And the thing that I've realized is whether it's 10,000, 20,000, 50,000, 100, it doesn't really matter how much it is. It all starts inside here first. And depending on how you feel about money or how much you're allowing into your life, it really affects what manifests out here. So what's in here ultimately manifests out here. If you feel abundance in here, then you're going to get abundance out there. If you feel in here like everything is great in your life except for money, then guess what? In your life, everything is going to be great except for money. So, I know that I used to have personal hang-ups about money. Even though I was actually doing very well for myself, I still had hang-ups which would hold me back from time to time. And eventually what I did was, by doing the abundance game, by doing the check writing game, it helped me get money. But I also incorporated what I call the Wealth Supercharger. And what I did was, I have a goal for myself to make, to get my business and kind of my personal income level to the point where I'm making like $300,000 a month. But to other people, that might sound crazy. To me, that's like, oh, okay. Like it's kind of like I expect it. I recently had my first 6-figure month, and I kind of got like to the point where I was like, you know what? If I expect this on a monthly basis or like a daily basis, or if I just expect myself to have 6 figures entering my life every single month, then guess what? What's in here manifests out here. So if I expect 6 figures per month, then out here it's going to manifest like 6 figures per month, just like that. And I've experimented this with so many different things, and it's always been consistent. And some people call it magic or luck or law of attraction. I call it creation personally, but it's law of attraction. Yeah, it's all this different stuff. But it's just like, it's taking what's inside here and manifesting it out here. But you have to like get to the point where you feel, if you want massive abundance in your life, you can't feel massive abundance like 50% of the time, then like the other 50% you feel like totally poor or like totally scarcity mindset. Nah, you have to get to the point where it's like 100% abundance just in here. And it's not as if though you have to feel like an ungodly amount of abundance, like over level 9,000 abundance, and then magic, and then and only then it's going to manifest abundance. No, even whenever you get to the point where you just change your abundance mindset just a little bit, you start feeling a little bit of abundance in here, you're going to see that little results start to manifest out there, or sometimes big results, depending on like how you feel about money. Because I would say that over the years or so, I've trained myself to be good at money. And even whenever I would be like down in the struggles and just like totally out of it and just like totally scarcity mindset, totally poor, totally feeling bad about everything, even just because I knew that deep inside myself, money was easy, just by changing my focus just for a little bit, maybe over the span of a couple days or even just a lot during one day, like I would see results like that. And I'm like, whoa. So, going back to the Wealth Supercharger, this is a process that I kind of spun off from the whole abundance game, but it's actually really simple. And what it is, I have my check right here. And basically, I just write it for the amount of $300,000. And, I read it out to myself, Alexander, and on the line too, the line under it where you're supposed to write like 300,000 or however much, I actually started with at least, and I capitalized those words, at least, because something that I learned is that you should never limit yourself to just one particular number. You should always be at the point where you're open or willing to expand for example, if you could set a goal for like $10,000, but your mind is going to focus only on $10,000. But whenever you say, I'm open to at least $10,000 a month, then your mind is open for like the baseline minimum of $10,000, and anything above that, it's also going to be open to it too. So if you set yourself a goal for like $15,000, and you're so focused only on $15,000, yeah, you'll probably get it, especially if you feel it in here and you manifest it out here. But what'll happen is, there might be an opportunity for $20,000 that will come your way, but because you're focused on like, oh no, I'm only going to make $15,000, only. If you're only focused on that, then it's just going to be at the point where you're blocking yourself out to so much more abundance that's out there than, if you just, as compared to if you just put at least. So that's what I do. So it's like, I have Alexander, I put the date, then Alexander, I write the numbers 300,000. Then I have on the line 2, I put at least caps, at least in caps. Then I have at least $300,000 and 00/100 and a little dash. And the memo, I just put monthly income. That helps me know that it's just like, for monthly income. And, I sign it. And then on the back, I endorse it and whatnot. But what I started doing is, this one isn't actually complete, but I'm going to go, hopefully I can find one. This is a check where I just kind of started like writing different things. And I started writing like, hey, here are all the positive aspects, or here's what it would be like to have $300,000 a month coming into my life. And I'm trying to see if there's a good check that I have. No, I don't have one right now. But literally, I'll just like write all over the check, like on the back of it. Sometimes, I feel really inspired. I even end up writing on the front of it. It doesn't matter. I mean, it's just a check. And it's just, it's all about the feelings. So feel, whatever feels most comfortable to you. But I start writing about like, I ask myself the question like, what would it feel like if I had $300,000 a month coming into my life? And, I can describe that pretty clearly. It's like, it's really awesome. Just because it's like, I could buy a Lamborghini each and every single month cash and still have enough to pay for my lifestyle, all my other expenses and stuff like that. So it's really cool, because what I'll do is I'll spend a lot of time just like, going over the aspects of like, I'll list maybe 10 aspects or maybe 20 positive aspects, or however many, maybe just 2. It all kind of depends on what I feel. But I'll really start feeling into like, what is it like to be earning X dollars per month? So, if you have a $10,000 per month goal and you're like, just write yourself out, do the abundance game check. So even if you're on day 20 or something like that, focus on like day 20 and write a check out for $20,000. Spend that all. But then also do the wealth supercharger process and focus on what it would be like to really be earning $10,000 a month. And, if that's, for me, yeah, let's do it for me right now. Like for me, earning $10,000 a month, it's, I can describe that super quickly just because it's like, it's really good, because it's like if the standard of living for pretty much all of America is here and I'm earning $10,000 a month here, it's really simple because it's like I'm above the standard of living. I can pay for all my bills. I don't have to worry about having enough. It's really simple. And it's like, even though I make a lot of money, my lifestyle is actually very minimum. So even if I was just making $10,000 a month, that would really cut it. Like I would totally be okay with that. Fortunately, I do make a lot more, but that's just because I do it for fun. But anyways, it's like, for the wealth supercharger process, focus on what it would be like to be making X per month. So if your goal is 20,000, then focus on 20,000 per month. If your goal is 15,000, then focus on 15,000 per month. The thing I will suggest is, if you've only made like a maximum of $3,000 per month, and you set a goal for like, I'm gonna make $50,000 per month, then don't necessarily put a time frame on it. You want your goals to be realistic, because what happens, if I set a goal for myself where I want to go from making what I am to $300,000 per day, then that would be, I'm not gonna lie, that would, even though technically yes, I could create it, and yes, I could manifest inside of myself, I would feel a little bit incongruent with my goal. And I'm not trying to put a limiting belief on myself. I'm not trying to do any of that, or even for somebody else. But it's just like, you want to get to the point where you can feel it. And even if you get to the point where you feel like, oh, I can make, even though I've only made $3,000 a month, I want to shoot for $20,000 a month. If you can just get to the point where you start feeling that you can make $20,000 a month, and you can genuinely, truly start focusing on the actual having of it as opposed to the lack of it, then yeah, you'll manifest it like that. And it's really cool, because what I'm doing right now is, even though this is a kind of big goal, it's like, I know a lot of people personally who make a lot more than $300,000 per month, and there's some people who make $300,000 in like a day, or a week or something like that. And I'm sure that there are probably some billionaires out there who make like $300,000 an hour. And I don't know if Bill Gates makes $300,000 per minute, but that would be pretty cool. So it's like, it's possible. There's, my mind says, yeah, it's possible to do. But what I'm doing on a daily basis is getting myself to the point where I feel like, oh, $300,000 per month, totally possible. It's like, I've already had a 6-figure month already. So it's like, I know, I feel I've experienced that, yeah, it is possible. So now it's just kind of like me, the reason why it's fun for me is I'm just like getting it to a point where it's consistent on a month-to-month basis, where it's like, I just get 6 figures like clockwork each and every single month. So yeah, that's the Wealth Supercharger. So just write yourself out a check in in addition to the abundance check that you're already writing for yourself. And, take the second check, for $10,000, $20,000, $5,000, $2,000, doesn't matter. If you're employed and you've never made money in your life, set a goal out for like, $1,000 or $2,000 or $3,000 per month, and, really focus on what it would be like. Like, how would I feel in my life? What would I be able to buy? What would I be able to do in my life if I had $10,000 or $20,000 or however much per month? And, just kind of focus on that. And, you're going to start seeing like opportunities pop into your life like this. Even for me, even though I've set my $300,000 per month goal, like literally there are certain things that come into my experience or my consciousness that would not have ever come into it if I would not have been focusing on this goal in the way that I do. So that's pretty much it. And yeah, like that's the Wealth Supercharger process. So, enjoy, make a lot of money, and have some success. So yeah, cheers.